Hello, accountability buddies. I'm Les, and this is another episode of Less is More Healthy. Welcome to the channel to all of the new subscribers. I just want to give you kind of a heads up if you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell and you're watching this video. What this channel is usually like is not like my overview of the Ozark Trail G.1 Explorer. That is an outlier in terms of videos. I don't often do reviews. I do plan on doing a whole bunch of videos around the bike itself and the upgrades that I'm going to do and how they change the function and feel of the bike. But generally, this channel is really about health, and it's about my experience of becoming healthier as an older adult. I'm 47 years old. I'm in generally pretty good health, but I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes over 10 years ago, and that's what the channel is about. It's about me gaining control over my type 2 diabetes through diet and exercise. And this is not advice, this is me sharing my experience. I am not a medical professional, except for the fact that I'm a therapist and I have a specialization in art therapy, but that's not the point. That's not really what I do on this channel. So yeah, I don't offer advice. I just offer my experiences gaining my health back. So I'm someone who used to hike and spend a lot of time in the woods in my teen years, in my 20s, even in some of my 30s. And I also used to mountain bike pretty intensely throughout my 20s and late teen years. And I cycle commuted by bike and train for my early 20s until I got hit by a minivan. Now, I wasn't badly hurt, but it was definitely did not make me want to ride my bike here in Massachusetts much at all. So let's talk about the G.1 Explorer and why I bought it. So I know I could take the money that I am going to end up sinking into this bike, and I could have bought a bike straight from the bike shop with that amount of money. But you're kind of missing the point if that's what you're telling me. Because I bought this bike with a purpose. I bought it to see, can someone buy a gravel bike and just ride it? A cheap gravel bike, a cheap bike from Walmart, and then upgrade it over time through tutorials online and whatnot. Now, I'm a pretty decent mechanic. And last year for the whole summer, I rode a Kona that I bought used. I bought a 95 Kona, um, and I rebuilt it from the ground up, put new tires on it, new rims, new wheel set on the back, changed the drivetrain, changed everything around on it. And I did over 600 miles on that bike. So it's not like I'm unfamiliar with bike shop bikes. I bought bikes from the bike shop before, but I really wanted to see, is it a viable option to buy a $250 bike from the Walmart and ride 1,000 miles on it? It's my plan. My hope for the summer is that I do 1,000 miles plus on this bike. This is going to be my primary rider. I'm going to use it for commuting to work through the bike trail. If, when I don't have kids in my groups. And yeah, so that's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is to upgrade it over time, is to see, is this frame viable? Is it going to be comfortable? Am I going to enjoy this? And so far, yeah, I like it. There are a few little things about the bike that I don't like. The original saddle that came with it was atrocious, not built for women. I've already got a saddle on the way, so no advice on that is necessary unless you've got a women's specific saddle to suggest. That should be here Wednesday. It's Monday now. And I'm looking forward to just upgrading this bike over time. I've got a lot of parts already in the house. I already own a bunch of the parts. There are a few things that I'm buying for this. I'm looking at drivetrains. I'm buying a new wheel set, used wheel set coming up here this week. Looking forward to being able to put a cassette on this bike and changing out the gearing on it. The one big thing that I've noticed thus far is I need some higher gearing or lower gearing, I don't even know which one I call it, on the rear end of it for hills. I live in a hilly area, and I'm going to be riding this bike in hilly areas. And that just means that I need some different gearing so that I can get up and over the hills. There is a bridge that is very steep, um, that I just need different gearing for to get up comfortably um, during my commute. So that's the whole point of it, is to upgrade it, is to spend the money on upgrades and do some of this wrenching myself. I know a lot of you out there don't want to wrench on a bike. You don't want to do upgrades, and that's fine. If that's the case, save your money, go to a bike shop, save your time. For me, this is part of what I enjoy. I enjoy upgrading bikes. I enjoy wrenching on bikes. That is enjoyable for me, and that's what I want. You do you. I'll do me. Um, I also wanted to talk about my slow increase in mileage. So last year, I did like a 10 mile, I did a couple 5 mile rides, and did a couple of 10 mile rides to what I think get my fitness up. And then I rode out to Ipswich from my city. And that was a 26 mile round trip, and the recovery time for that at my age and fitness level was a full week. It was painful. It was awful. You can go back and look at that late May, early June video for the recap of that recovery time. It was awful. So this year I decided I would do a couple of 5-ish mile rides and slowly inch my way to 10 and 25 mile rides. I really don't want to have a week of recovery time again. It took a couple of days after I rode the first 5 miles on that awful saddle to recover from it. It was just hit me in all the wrong spots and left what felt like some bruises on my sit bones. Um, but I swapped out the saddle for the old Trek that I was using last year. Immediate more comfortable, much more relief. And it was great. So I'm really hoping that the women's specific saddle is going to make it all the more comfortable. So let's see, I've done a couple of 5-6 mile rides. Yesterday I did an 8.5 mile ride, and that, like, I'm not feeling like I'm in super pain today. So I did what, 8.5, 6.5, 15 miles over the weekend, which is not a lot, but it's also not bad. It's not really where I want to be over a weekend. Unfortunately, I have an event that I have to go to this coming weekend on the one good day we're supposed to have. So I'm probably only going to get a 6 or 7 mile ride in on Saturday morning. I might get something in on Sunday, but I think it's supposed to rain. So we're going to see what happens. I'm hoping to get 20 miles in this coming weekend, so 10 miles each day. My hope is that as over time, as I inch things up, I can have less recovery time, feel better after my rides, and ultimately be able to do more miles. My goal this summer is to get to a regular 50 mile ride. I don't know if you can hear the bass in the car next to me. Super deep. I'm hoping the noise cancellation is gonna get that. Doesn't always get the bass out. Um, so yeah, I want to be doing these 50 mile rides. There's a loop that I want to do from my city, from the train station in my city up to Gloucester. It's supposed to be a beautiful ride. I want to do that Magnolia ride again. But I also want to take my art supplies and I want to paint while I'm out. I want to do some things like that. And after having some conversations with my diabetes specialist, she basically has pointed out that I need to eat in the middle of my rides, that I'm really it's dangerous for me to not eat in the middle of a ride. My blood sugar could go low because of the medication that I'm on. Historically, it hasn't. I've gotten a little shaky here and there, but my blood sugar has never been below 80 on a ride. It has dropped lower after a ride, so I'm much more careful now to make sure that I'm hydrating during the ride, and taking in some carbs at the end of the ride, just to make sure that my blood sugar is not dropping. too low, because I certainly don't want to pass out in the midst of a ride. That would not be great. Yeah, so anyway, just trying to be super careful as I inch up the miles. I'm using Komoot to um, set some sort of routes for myself so that, I'm knowing I'm doing, like, here's like 10 miles, here's 12 miles, here's 15. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use Komoot to track my mileage and plan it out in advance. Yesterday's ride that was 8.5 miles was meant to be about 11, but it's was starting to rain, and you'll see in the video there's a raindrop that I didn't catch on my camera lens. um, that shows up about halfway through the ride. I don't know if you'll see it or not, but anyway, yeah. So that's that. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. Hopefully, you find something helpful here that might help you in your health journey. And I'll see you next time. Thanks and bye.